The Simpsons Night of the Living Treehouse of Horror may be the longest title in video game history. Following the debacle that was Bart and the Beanstalk, Software Creations upped the ante with an interesting follow-up for the Game Boy Color. It uses concepts and story elements that are loosely based on the Treehouse of Horror episodes. The player finally gets a chance to control all 5 members of the family, with each stage representing a different classic episode, character and game style, making for a more varied experience, like in Juggernauts. The presentation here is easily the best I've seen so far for a handheld system, with fantastic animation and bright, recognisable pixel art. I especially love the brilliant idle animations. There are quite a few of them too. We also have a selection of creepy tunes on offer. They range from okay to really annoying. The game's challenge is what gets most people though. It's extremely difficult thanks to the sluggish controls and god-awful time limits. Some stages give you just 1 life, or give you no checkpoints. Do the whole level in one go, or get stuffed. It's completely unreasonable. It's got a password system at the very least, but I can't be fucked with any of that. The title screen looks brilliant with the whole family accurately represented, except for one tiny thing. Bart's shorts are black. I love the mode selection screen. It shows the Simpsons house at night with different areas of it used for options, passwords, and the level select screen, which is actually Bart's treehouse. I love it when developers do that. It shows they have a grasp for concepts and place in the subject matter, continually fleshing out the world in every way possible, even in the menus. Great stuff. Level 1 is based on the very first Halloween episode, Bad Dream House, and has the player controlling Bart as he hunts to find keys and fuses in a side-scrolling platformer. Bart must use these to light up certain rooms so he can find the keys to the attic, and prevent Santa's little helper from becoming Satan's little yelper. So the first thing that happens is Bart turning around and getting instantly blindsided by a rogue vacuum cleaner. I didn't even have a second to get my bearings. Not a good start, I must say. Once again, the controls and movement are as sluggish as me on a Saturday morning, extremely stiff and delayed. I'm pretty sure Bart's meant to be a fairly agile character, so why is he always so slow? At least the animations are good, but really, what good is great animation if the gameplay has to suffer? Once again, Bart's got the slingshot which still fires far too slow, falls short, and almost always misses its mark. What could be so difficult about programming a simple projectile? May as well not even bother, because I refuse to use it unless absolutely necessary. The jumping is so slippery and it has to be exact, otherwise you fall through the side of the platforms. The controls are also the polar opposite of all that have come before. B button jumps and A button attacks. This should have been on the Game Gear. So 4 of these rooms are dark and need to be lit up using these fuses that are scattered about the place. Enter these too early and you'll be hunted relentlessly by a spectral broom that runs straight at you and sticks to you like glue. Get off! Yep, health drained in a one fell swoop. Beautiful. Heading to the basement, you can find a fuse box, so put the fuses in here as soon as you find them to light up those rooms. I took damage while mounting a fuse? That's bullshit. You've got a decent health bar too, which can be replenished using these red icons. Nice. Oh. Yeah, mate, yeah, go ahead, yeah. No. I think Tommy may be Alberto. Oh shit, the toxic waste's rising. No! What? All that again, then you find several more keys and fuses, and after several more game overs, finally make it to the attic. Oh, what is this, a boss? Oh no! What? I'm almost out of time again. Oh man, come on. Alright then, moving on to stage 2, we've got Maggie in a level based on Fly vs Fly from Treehouse of Horror 8. This time it's Maggie who has become genetically spliced with the fly instead of Bart. The player must guide her through the Simpsons kitchen area, collecting 3 circuits and hitting several light switches to allow passage to the transporter. Gotta avoid spiders, ants, wasps, and electricity. Oh, he's Mr. Sparkle! This is way easier than level 1, and I love the music here. What's with all the grueling opening stages anyway? Not very balanced, are they? Be careful hitting the switches, because they'll begin firing electricity, but this is the only way to get past the oven to the transporter. Not a bad stage at all. In level 3, we control Marge in a top-down shooter that's based on Dial Z for Zombies, Treehouse of Horror 3. What's Marge shooting with? Looks like some kind of vacuum cleaner. You can get ammo upgrades in the form of, leaves or grass clippings? I don't know. Puddles of water even seem to work. You can shoot in any direction, but it feels lacking. Also, if you take damage, you lose your ammo upgrades. I hate that in shoot-em-ups. It has fairly sluggish controls as usual, and Marge is a huge target. You can outrun most of the zombies anyway, so let's just go with that. You meet several bosses along the way that make for great cameos. Apu, Mo, Principal Skinner and Krusty. They are all fairly challenging. Again, not a bad stage. Stage 4 is based on Bart Simpson's Dracula from Treehouse of Horror 4. Here we control Homer and... oh, fucking stupid cheap obstacles! This area is a giant maze, and the player must find switches that open certain doors and race against time to find and enter them before they close, or you'll need to start all over again. None of these stages give you enough time to figure out your goal and finish first time around, and it's not clear what switches open what doors. Lovely. Homer can use a crossbow, but it's about as useful as a torch on a sunny day. Look, I can't hit him. Look! You end up finding a vertically scrolling section that comes out of nowhere and has you trying to escape these creeping vines. It's the longest vertically scrolling section ever. I wonder when I'm going to be done with all this. I couldn't understand what to do until I accidentally jumped up here and the curtains opened, revealing sunlight that can be used to trap Burns and kill him. Level 5 is another Homer stage, though this time Mr. Burns has placed Homer's head on a robotic body. Guess this one's based on If Only I Had a Brain, Treehouse of Horror 2. It's dumb, because Homer must find the rest of his body which has been hidden around the power plant. The stupid thing about this is that you can't hold more than one body part at a time, which must then be returned to a central area before acquiring the next one, needlessly padding out the level against an extremely tight time limit. It's just unnecessary backtracking, and I hate it, because once again there are tons of obstacles, and if you die, all over again. The place is crawling with workers, and Homer has no defense other than jumping around, which is sluggish as usual. You gotta search the background objects. Keep an eye out for the eye. I fucking hate this level. Mate, I hate it. Move your fat ass, I'm on a time limit! Ugh, nuclear rat. This stage requires much trial and error, and is extremely difficult. I nearly gave up on the show thanks to this shit. Finally, we get to play as Lisa in a stage based on Nightmare Cafeteria from Treehouse of Horror 5. Let me tell ya, I was terrified of this episode as a kid. Oh, is that Groundskeeper Willie? Oh, no! You gotta avoid the hungry teachers and look for keys that unlock 5 children's cages. They contain Bart, Milhouse, Uda, Martin, and Sherry, not Terry. Sometimes unlocking a cage sets off an alarm that summons Principal Skinner. You can hide from teachers, if you could call it that, but can do little else but run if you're seen. The teachers actually really creep me out in this one. Lunch Lady Doris, Miss Krabappel, and Miss Hoover are scary. Certain keys open certain cages too, so more backtracking. Jeez, they really stuck to that format, didn't they? Back at the treehouse, though, something strange is visible above. Level 7, King Homer, is based on Treehouse of Horror 3. Once again, you control Homer, this time as a giant ape who's searching for Marge. You can jump on tanks, shield yourself from incoming attacks, eat these tiny people and knock buildings down. It's a bit like Rampage. Donuts. Talk about subliminal messages, I've put on a ton of weight lately. This level's pretty easy and a nice relief from the bullshit previous levels. Near the end, you climb a building and take on this biplane, which is pretty easy. Once you find Marge, what do you think happens?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Nah, he just uses her as a yo-yo. I knew there was something above the treehouse, and now the entire family is being abducted by aliens. No. Bet this last stage is gonna have Kang and Kodos in it. Oh, I can't wait. I'm sorry? Is that it? Did we just witness the end of the game? Yeah, I don't really know what to make of that. It's quite jarring, actually. What a disappointing end. All that work for nothing. How could you have a Treehouse of Horror game and not have Kang and Kodos? What a waste. Yeah, look, I know, it's about the journey, not the destination. Yeah. I want a friggin' decent ending, please. After that, I don't really know what to say. I mean, it's a great idea with brilliant graphics, but the execution was lacking and it ended up failing miserably. It disappoints with its sluggish controls, overly strict time limits, and a crappy ending. A massive disappointment. Alright, so join me next time for our final exclusive Game Boy Simpsons game. One that is very close to home for us Aussies, the Beam-developed Itchy and Scratchy Mini Golf Madness.